Yeah, I mean, to touch base on what you said first, I mean, obviously, you never want to get to a point where you feel like you're whining, I guess, where it's like lingering, and sometimes you need a moment to just kind of like let's just put this whole thing behind us. I felt like at that point I hadn't settled down. I was kind of frazzled, I guess. I was missing a lot of balls, and I'd just gotten broken, and I'd made a couple second serve return errors, and so at that moment, I was just like, I mean, that was just kind of like a reset button for me. I mean, I wasn't doing it with the intention of going berserk, and it worked, So it was one of those things where, do you want to make it a habit? No, but occasionally, do you need to sometimes just if you get to a point where you're whining and it's lingering and it's like point after point, sometimes it's better to just cut it with one thing and then move forward as an athlete. Getting the second set, obviously. Umpire made a call. I believe that if you were to watch the replay, it was the right call because I was in position to make a play on it. Once I heard the call, I kind of let off my swing, which was why the ball didn't go in. But I was in position to make the shot. He exploded, which could have, there's a number of things that happened there. I mean, as difficult as it is to sit there whenever it's happening, to tell yourself to just stay with it and to keep going, it's tough because, that can be used as a reset button for him to kind of just like, get everything out of the system, obviously getting broken a couple times in a row. And yeah, I didn't handle it as well as he did. He came out and he broke me the next 2 points. But then I had love 40 the next game, and I had a couple forehands to hit. Those are all just simple execution errors. Those are just simple practice court stuff where, I mean, all you can really do once you're competing in the middle of a match is make the right decision. And then at that point, it's a matter of doing it so many times in practice that it becomes just monotonous, and you can just do it whenever. It's the same thing. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I just have to keep practicing it.
You guys had words of the net,
Well, I told him, I said I had a play on the ball, and he said that he didn't think I did. And I was just like, look, man, I did. I mean, and I was, because I know him, we practiced together a few times, and so, I mean, obviously I saw him losing his mind, and also I kind of wanted it to stop. I wanted to keep playing, so once he got going, I figured I'd go up there and just tell him, like, hey, look, I did have a play on that ball. But obviously, when you're competing, it's tough to listen to whoever. So, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't handle it as well as he did.
So was it just an execution issue then in the third set as well? It was a bit more even
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of close shots. I mean, I got broken twice, both off of forehands that would have been winner that missed probably by, within an inch or two. I mean, those are things that you just hit the right shot. You hope they go in whenever you hit them. Also, early third set, I have a game point. I hit a great approach shot, and he hits a running passing shot that clips the tape and then comes back in. And I challenge, and it was on the outside. I mean, there's just like there's so many fractional moments in those matches where they can go either way. And the important thing is throughout the course of the year that you keep putting yourself in those positions. That's what I have to keep doing. Putting myself in position when I'm playing the top 20 guys, top 15 guys, and you give yourself those chances. You're going to win the majority of them if you're playing well and working hard. But you can't. It's impossible to win every one. I mean, you see, Nadal is down a set right now to Stepanek, and I believe he's serving for the second set. But even for the top guys in the world, it's impossible to get out there and be in control of everything. So there's some things that happen, and you have to keep rolling with it. And obviously I got a break point there to get back on serve even after going down a break twice, and missed the shot. It is what it is. You stay in it. I did a good job of making him serve for it when I was down 3-5, 15-30. I hit a couple good serves. I made him serve for the match, and I also got a chance to hit the ball there at 30 all on the second to last point, and just missed it.
So are you coming out of this feeling positive? You sound positive, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, I for 6 to 8 months I didn't play anywhere near the level I just played, and so does it suck that I lost? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I spent the last 45 minutes yelling at my coach and trainer because I was pretty frustrated. Not at them, but just kind of like venting, So you get it out of your system, and then you keep moving forward. It is what it is. You take the positives and you keep going.
You said we're talking honest, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know the numbers. You know how many titles Americans won last year.
Yeah, of course.
In Melbourne, in San Diego, what's happening here? Do you think American men's tennis is in crisis?
I mean, it's certainly a spot that we haven't been in before, but at the same time, I mean, there's you know, when it's bad, it's bad, you know, and when it's good, it's great. Like that, it's that old thing where, you know, you're never as far off as it feels like. And you know, my dad used to tell me when I was really young that whenever you're in a slump, you're never like playing as bad as you think you're playing, and whenever you're playing well, you're never really playing as well as you think you're playing. So it's always somewhere in the middle. And I think it's the same thing with Americans men's tennis. I think that we have plenty of guys who are capable of winning titles, myself included. You know, and then you have John and Sam and those guys who have won titles and have had a lot of success. I mean, Isner's obviously capable of making the finals here. He's already done it. He's still, you know, he starts tomorrow. So, you know, I think that anyone who knows tennis and has seen tennis on a number of occasions knows that that was a high quality match. And, you know, it's a process. You keep building. I'm 21. And as long as I can stay on this track that I'm going now, it's the right way.
I think, in just observing tennis, I think you're one of the fiercest competitors I've ever seen, right up there with all the greats.
Well, I appreciate it.
Kudos to you.
I appreciate that.
And it's hard to, I say that because it's hard to generalize, but there have been a lot of comments. People are saying, hey, wow, we got to the third round in the Australian Open. Or, gee, I don't like to go and mope for a long time anymore. After a loss, it takes the fun out.
Yeah.
And in a more general way, people are saying there's not a culture of competitiveness in America. You're fierce, but talk about that. Are people just tearing their hair out because you're not breaking through the semis and finals?
Well, you know, I mean, to talk about myself, I mean, I appreciate it, and I do agree with you. I think that my competitiveness is one of my strengths. It's something that I've always taken a lot of pride in, is competing really hard. I also strongly believe that when I do crack into that level that I'm looking to crack into, I think that having that, you know, that competitiveness is what's going to allow me to not just be good, but be great. And I believe that with all my heart. I mean, it's kind of like, I guess anybody who's ever been a great champion, you have to keep competing and show that differential, even whenever you're trying to make it. You know, you're still trying to just set that tone where I mean, I can guarantee you that Nadal was an incredible competitor even when he was 110 in the world, which is roughly where I am right now. You know, so I think that I think it's something that is contagious. I mean, I'm training at the USTA Center in Boca, and I make it a point every day to go out there and to try to lead and try to show that competitiveness. I mean, I see the kids, you know, Francis Tiafoe, Stefan Kozlov, Riley Opelka, all the young guys who are doing well in the juniors right now. I see those guys and I talk to them a lot, and I compete against them a lot. And when I see them playing practice sets against each other, even when I finish, I stay out there and I ride them. I mean, I just, you know, not really giving them a hard time, but if I see them checking out, you know, I try to set that mentality that was set for me from a young age, and I think it can become contagious. Seeing that, even in the middle of matches, if I'm competing and I see someone like a younger guy or the coaches who you're around, who you know, whenever you're trying to set that tone, come and support or come and watch, like it gives me a sense of like you know, almost let's show the leadership here. You know, let's be a competitor. Let's not tap. Let's continue to continue to stay on the path. Really.
But I don't hope if I could just follow up there
Yeah.
for a second. But like Jose's said there to go, that like being number 80 is just not in Europe would just not be acceptable, and we just have to get a culture of competitiveness.
Yeah.
Not so much about you, because I think you are an exception.
Yeah.
But do you see that at all in leading our mid-range players?
I mean, honestly, yeah, I do. I wish I could say no, and I'm not going to elaborate at all on who I'm talking about. But I think that there's some guys who could compete better. Yeah, I do, and I hope that you know, how you see a wave of guys going up together. It usually happens where guys compete against each other, and I'm very hopeful that that happens with the young American guys that are coming up now.
Ryan, you won a match in 2015
Yeah.
on the tour. It was a kind of impatience or urgency about things, and I'm wondering if now, seeing like how many older guys are competing and seeing not really young guys or late 30s, does it help you as you sort of transition and make your way as a professional tennis player?
I mean, there's always a sense of urgency with me. I mean, like, I'm getting a lot better at being able to put things in perspective, like, and continue to, I guess, not make irrational decisions about, you know, oh my God, you know, I can't believe I lost, all this stuff. Like, being smart about understanding that, you know, you can put yourself in positions, but at the same time, I have an extreme sense of urgency to make this happen. I mean, it's impossible to say that I don't hear and see the people who are out there even supporting me tonight. You know, guys that are just literally just dying for someone to wave the flag with pride, and I can't tell you how bad I want to be that. I mean I would love to be that guy who people can watch and know that, like, for American tennis, for the average American tennis player to be able to look up and see someone that's not afraid, that's going to get there and just, you know, compete with everything and leave everything out there. I mean, that's my dream. I mean, I want to be that guy, you know, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. And you can never be for sure if it's going to happen or not, but I can promise you that there's never going to be something that I didn't try to make it happen.
There's no comfort that might be at 26 or 27, not
No.
21 or 22.
No, I mean, right now, like, I truly believe that I'm capable of going deep in these tournaments right now, and I have to. I mean, that's my mentality, you know. I mean, it's just the way I go about things. I've never been a guy who was, I guess, content with the moment that I was in, and so I mean, it's what's got me this far. It's the way I'm going to keep going about things, and it's up, you know, my coaches, my trainer, my team around me. They will think with the process mentality, you know, with the, you know, let's continue to build and work on this and work on this, and we'll continue to connect all the pieces together. That's a coach's job, to sit there and, from a developmental side, to put things together. But I told Diego whenever we first started getting on court together, I said, look, you know, I don't care if you tell me that I have to serve a volley every point. I don't care if you tell me that I have to hit a slice backhand every point. I don't care what you tell me. I will listen, and I will work. Where there's never going to be a moment where I'm okay with losing a game. Like, I don't care if it's, you know, if it's a baseline game or whatever. Like, I will never be okay and content with losing in practice and matches and tournaments or whatever. So just know that whatever our drill is, like, I'm going to try to win as hard as I possibly can. And I think that becomes a habit. Honestly, I think it becomes a lifestyle, not just a thing that you do. I think you can almost live that, where you take a lot of pride in not having a breaking point where mentally you ever get to the point where you're like, oh, well, it was okay that I lost that, because it's not. I mean, ultimately, you want to be successful every time you're out there.
And another thing, another argument is the the athletes' argument that, hey, we have baseball and football,
Yeah.
and hockey, we don't get the good athletes. Do you think that's true and a core argument, or do you think it's a little bit of a crutch, and does it sort of piss you off when you personally?
Well, I think I'm a great athlete, so I can play basketball, I can play football, I can play whatever. So I mean, I have confidence in my athletic ability. Sharko saw it under pressure when I drained a free throw at the Memphis Grizzlies game the other night, which is on video, by the way. I went out after the first quarter and nailed a free throw.
Lucky shot.
Yeah, it was pretty lucky. I'll put it that. I'll give you that. But is it true to a degree? Yes. Like, if you look at things from an outside perspective, obviously tennis is not one of the major 3-4 sports in the United States. Clearly, football, baseball, and basketball are the top three. I mean, it's pretty obvious, especially if, you know, you just look at any statistic. It's obvious. But at the same time, I'm never going to use that as an excuse. Personally, I mean, I think that I'm a good enough athlete.
I'm talking more
Yeah.
generally, about the generation.
Generation, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say, because I feel like I think that tennis has become a very worldwide broad sport where you're seeing guys who are coming out of Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, all these, you know, these countries, Lithuania, you know, countries like that where you've got people who are coming out and being really good tennis players. I mean, there's a guy from Estonia, you know, who's a really good I mean, guys who are all like close to the top in the world from everywhere, you know. So it's just like a really big pond now. So obviously, you know, it makes it to where it's just a very deep ranking system. Those are all statistics, you know. So if you're asking me to look at it from a statistic standpoint, yes, that's true. But personally, I will never ever in my career use that as an excuse for a lack of success. I'm never going to say, oh, well, these guys are, you know, clearly the best athletes, and I might not be the best athlete that the United States have. Because if you ask me, I have confidence that I am a great athlete. So that's just, I think it can be a cop-out if you use that as an excuse.
Okay, anything else?
So,
All right, thanks.
good deal.
Keep on fighting, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rex.
Thank you very much. Thanks.